What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? We are back with Detective Pikachu Returns, and holy shit, guys. I can't believe you guys they gave that sort of response to the first two videos. Look, I know, it's one of those, oh, really, man, in the grand scheme of things, the views on that weren't that great. You know what? I'll take, it was a plus, I usually don't get a couple hundred views on a video, It's nice to see every so often I get something that does well, and, and I always say, it's not me, it's you guys. You guys decide to give me some of your time. I'm here, no matter what, just goofing around, playing video games, and yelling at a wall. You guys are the guys who take the time out of the day to watch the content, to comment and hang out and all that stuff. So, thank you, you guys. You all are the best. I'm a piece of shit. Oh, that room's being searched. Okay, so we gotta go into this room and look for the jewelry, or the jewelry storage room, or whatever.
Yes.
All right. I feel extra bad. Hey, look at Swablu. Part of me feels bad because it said in a community post yesterday that I'd have a full day of content today, and I think I only had one video before this, and now this video, and that's probably it for today because I fell asleep after that first video. Like, oh, I'll lie down for just about 10 minutes, I'll be fine, and then I fall asleep. It's been a stressful week, guys. I had my certification exam, I had my final exam today. It's been stressful. Alright, maybe I should actually read the dialogue. What is it, Pikachu? I checked out the door, but there are no signs of forced entry. And we can be fairly certain that the thief used a key to get in. According to Dennis, there's rooms where the Aurora Drop used to be. Is Aurora Drop an item in Pokemon? Like it raises a stat or something? No, I'm thinking Fire Emblem. Wait, is it in Fire Emblem? What am I thinking of? I'm sorry, I'm just losing my mind slowly. What's this I see? Oh, okay, oops. What's this I see here? Oh, it looks like there's no forced entry as they came in there and slit her throat. Whoa! God, I can't even get close to the door. Okay. I know, I'm gonna keep making this joke, but again, man, imagine what it would be like with this game, but we're solving, like, real adult crimes. It's like, oh, we're solving a theft. Instead, it's like I said, like, imagine if it was, we're solving a grisly double homicide. Are those supposed to be, like, Gimmighoul chests? And this one's blue, deep blue like the ocean. Red, vibrant red, boiling hot lava. Green jewel, and colored forest. That Swablu that's hanging out down there. It looks more disturbed than the rest. Could it be the giant slash cutting open the glass box? Don't let any details slip away.
Let me see.
That looks like part of the jewel case. Based on the shape, do you think it's the top half of the case that was cut off? Yeah, it looks that way. It's really been clean cut. Slicing it must have taken one seriously sharp blade. Doubt a human could pull that off. So what, are we thinking a scyther? Some cotton on the ground. It's really fluffy and soft. What was it that we saw in the last video where they're cottony? Was that what their name was? I always forget the name of that Pokemon. That floats around and like leaves cotton places.
Check it out.
Oh my god. I was gonna say he's gonna have a mustache.
Disguises are a key part of detective work,
Yeah, whatever. Now quit goofing off and investigate.
Are all my thumbnails gonna be of Detective Pikachu? Probably.
Perhaps I need to give him a little more training.
Tell him to stop being so freaking cute. It's a blue feather. Do you think the Pokemon it belonged to was in this room? Maybe it's from a Pokemon that lives in the mansion. Let's look into it later. Oh, I guess it's not a Swablu. I thought it would have been chilling in there. Guess I haven't checked everywhere. This music's pretty nice. This is the only case that's damaged. Must be where they kept the Aurora drop. The edge looks like it was sliced clean with a blade. What kind of blade could slice this cleanly through a sturdy jewel case?
Whoa!
Okay, apparently I haven't checked everywhere yet. Ah. Fixed firmly to the floor. Moving the base doesn't even look possible.
Whoa!
Apparently not. You know, I'm going to say something. I'm not sure if this is a hot take in the Pokemon world. Not sure if this is like a controversial opinion. But oh, okay. Jewel case is still locked. Well, yeah, I mean, I figured it would be. I mean, they clearly didn't get in through the lock because of the cut open glass case. I mean, who cares? Its key is a different one. I wonder who has that key then. I don't see anything else worth investigating.
Okay, let's start deducing.
But yeah, here's a Pokemon hot take for you guys. I am not a fan of Altaria, whatever Swablu's evolution is, whatever they name it, however you pronounce it. Probably figured out the culprits, how the culprit sold the gel by now. All right, start beginning deducing using the case notebook. Okay, we have a few plausible theories. Which do you think is right? Culprit, no, hasn't actually stolen the jewel yet, so they hid it in the fuzz. Nah, I think they cut it open and stole it.
Okay.
Yeah, we can tell that the jewel case was sliced open. After that, the Aurora drop was removed from the case and taken away. Right, we saw that the jewel case was still locked, which supports that claim. We still need to investigate more to determine how the case was sliced open. Yeah, but at least we know how the thief got their hands on it. Yeah, we made our first step forward.
Okay.
You understand how to use the case notebook now. Yep, once I've got some evidence, I'll start deducing. Feel free to start deducing whenever you feel like it. After investigating the scene, we know how the crime was carried out. We can be certain that the culprit sliced open the case and took the jewel from inside. But there's just one thing that's strange. Yeah? Yeah, Tim, what's strange about the way the crime was committed? Yeah, the glass was cut, but the door wasn't. But the jewel case was locked and sliced apart. That's right, so that means the thief only had one of the keys, the one to the storage room. They didn't have the key to the jewel case. According to Mr. Dennis, only he and Barnes can access the jewelry storage room. I understand why the police suspect Barnes, but I'm not so sure. Obviously, it'd be best if we could talk to Barnes ourselves, but he's still being questioned. We need to ask Mr. Dennis about the lock of the jewel case. Right, after we wrap up here, let's go ask him. How's the investigation going, Tim? Oh, Mr. Dennis. Sorry, I couldn't stand just waiting around. Have you discovered anything? It does appear that the culprit used the storage room key to gain entry. We believe that they then cut open the jewel case and took the Aurora drop. Is that so? I suppose that doesn't help Barnes much since he has the access to the key. I have a question for you, Mr. Dennis. Who has the key to the jewel case? I have it right here. I always carry the key to the jewel case on my person. I've known Barnes a very long time, but I still won't give him this key. The security of the jewel case is my personal responsibility. Got it, so both Barnes and Dennis can access the key to the jewel storage room, but only Mr. Dennis has access to the key in the jewel case itself. That's valuable information, Mr. Dennis. Thank you. Really? I thought I might be getting in the way, but I'm glad to hear I could help. The Aurora Drop is meant to become the symbol of revival for Rhyme City. Anyway, I'm counting on you, Tim. Okay, so I guess that means we can kind of rule out Mr. Dennis, because he would have the key for the gem. Why cut it open unless it's a misdirect? But this is also a Pokemon game meant for younger people, so I'm going to guess that sort of misdirection isn't happening. And the butler right now is a really good suspect. I mean, he had access to the key to the room, but not the key to the case. So, could be. Let's ask Dennis about that later. The thief cut open the case to steal the jewel, but they had the key to get into the storage room. The only people who have access to that key are Dennis and Barnes, so it makes sense that the police would suspect Barnes. If the key hadn't been used to unlock the storage room, Barnes wouldn't be under suspicion in the first place. Why would he do that, knowing people would suspect him? Maybe he didn't think that far ahead. In any case, based on what we found at the scene of the crime, we can't be certain of anything just yet. We need to talk to Barnes and the other people in the mansion and hear what they have to say. Not just the people, Pokemon too. I'll interpret for you when we talk to them. Alright, I'm counting on you, Pikachu. Okay, now we've got our next steps figured out. Let's start interviewing everyone right away. I love Pikachu's little freaking face. It's so cute. Oh, look at how he runs. I'll never get tired of it. What window? You know, there's no window in this room. Oh, that window.
Oh!
What's all this? Pokemon feathers? Sure looks like it. They're scattered all over the floor and the window's open. Maybe a Pokemon got in or out through here. You think it has anything to do with the case? Look at this. One of these feathers is darker than the others. You're right. The other 6 are a lighter shade of blue. Something about that is nagging me. Gonna let me in this room yet? No? How dare you? I mean, you're the police, but I am a child with a Pikachu and a hat. Clearly, I outrank you.
Excuse me?
I see. Ask anything you want. Inspector Holiday, some current case, and it's about Harry. Blah, blah, blah. 10, there's no new developments. Yada, yada, yada. Harry working on the R case. Yada, yada, yada. The single clue. Harry disappeared. Probably involved with that double murder that I keep talking about. I still find that really funny. I don't care if anybody else does. And sometimes I just want to make myself laugh. Oh, hello.
Hello there, Detective Tim. Oh, I mean, Detective Goodman?
Larry Turner, newest staff member of the Dennis residence. Wait, you are the detective, right? That's what Mr. Dennis said, at least. The name's... Wait, that's not proper enough. Sorry. My name is Larry Turner, and I'm a member of the house staff. House staff, huh? Seems in over his head. If you need anything, just let me know. I mean, please inform me if... You really don't have to be so formal with us. Thanks. That's a huge relief. I got this job a while ago, but I'm still not used to talking all fancy. Uh-oh. That a problem? Well, it's a good thing for me that Barnes deals with all the important guests. My main duties are taking care of the Pokemon, managing the house, and groundskeeping, and I can handle all that, no problem. I don't know, this guy isn't exactly filling me with confidence in his ability to do his job. Anyway, you wanted to ask about what happened, right? I mean, I already told the police everything I know. I'm really sorry for taking up more of your time. Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant. I'm not complaining or anything. It's just that I don't remember what happened very well. Something attacked me out of nowhere and I blacked out. Something attacked him, so not the thief then. Well, the thief could have knocked him out and then whatever. Can you please tell us more about that, Mr. Turner? Sure, no problem. Right, so where to start? I was just doing my job like normal today. I'd made food for the Pokemon, did some cleaning around the mansion, that sort of thing. I think I was tidying the garden when it happened. I saw Ducklet fly out of the second-story window. As I recall, I wondered where she was going. I mean, usually Ducklet just walks out the front door. It seemed weird to me, so I went upstairs to see what was going on. That's when I saw that the door to the storage room was wide open. As if that wasn't shocking enough, the moment I went to look inside, I suddenly got punched by a Pokemon. The next thing I knew, I was lying on a sofa and someone was treating my wounds. Pokemon punched you. Yeah, I feel like I glimpsed a small red figure for just a moment. Based on the size, it couldn't have been human, so I'm guessing it was a Pokemon. A red Pokemon. Do you know what kind it was? I'm really not sure. It all happened so fast. I see. Sorry that happened to you. But I'm glad you weren't seriously hurt. That's what the doctor said too. No Pokemon would want to steal the Aurora drop. It's possible that the culprit ordered their partner Pokemon to swipe the jewel and punch out Turner. So Tim, now that you've heard Turner's story, what do you think? We need to find the Ducklet that flew out the window, and that red Pokemon too. Yep, you got it. Okay, so let's run through... Okay, so red Pokemon. Again, when I think red Pokemon, the immediate thing that pops into mind is Scizor, which could punch. But would it be able to cleanly slice through the case? I mean, I definitely a Scyther could, but would a Scizor? I don't think a Scizor would be able to. This is where somebody says, AJ, what the hell are you talking about? Scizor can cut through anything. Yeah, but its claws are more like pincers, not a blade like Scythers are.
Excuse me?
Do you see anything else when the Pokemon attacked you? The thief who brought the Pokemon along was probably nearby. Fortunately, that's all I saw. I see. Can you think of any other details that might give a clue about the culprit? Nothing in particular is coming to mind. I mean, Mr. Dennis is such a nice person. I've never heard of anyone holding a grudge against him. And I was really surprised to hear that Barnes is a suspect. You don't think Barnes is responsible? I guess the police must have some reason to suspect him. But honestly, I just can't believe it. Barnes is still showing me the ropes around here. He's a great coworker with tons of experience. I mean, if you'd known Barnes before all this, you could never even imagine him being a thief. Okay, here's an alternate theory. What about a Bisharp or something like that? Hell, but the first color you look at when you get Bisharp is probably isn't red, it's more black. I'm not sure. Because it can't be Scizor, because like I said, I don't think I could slice that cleanly like a blade. Mixed with the fact that Scizor is really big compared to something, as he said, small.
Excuse me?
Do you know anything about the stolen jewel? The Aurora drop? I've never even seen the thing. It's been shut up in the storage room ever since it was brought to the house. Of course I know it's valuable and all. I assume that's what's been causing all the arguments between Mr. and Mrs. Dennis lately. What sort of arguments? In case you haven't heard, Mr. Dennis says he's going to donate the Aurora drop. Seems like Mrs. Dennis is against the plan. they've been fighting about it almost nightly. Every night. This will really be a point of contention. I guess Mrs. Dennis just doesn't want to give up on such a valuable jewel. So the Aurora drop's been driving a wedge between husband and wife, huh? Okay. All ears for the mansion gossip. Dude, Clefable's eyes freak me out. Ah, it's Clefable, Mrs. Dennis's partner, apparently. Can I ask you a few questions? Whoa, what gives? No need to be so rude. What's wrong? Seems like she's real suspicious of us. Maybe she's feeling sensitive after the incident here. So this is Dennis's wife. Not bad, Dennis. Not bad.
You certainly don't look like you're with the police. State your business.
We're detectives, Mr. Dennis asked us to investigate the incident that occurred. I'll also clean your pool if you're into any of those kind of scenarios. If you get it, you get it. Detectives. Oh, I suppose my husband did say something about that. Your husband, that must mean your Claudia Dennis, Sanji's wife. I'm sorry to bother you, but do you mind if I ask you some questions? I do mind, actually. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. The case has already been solved. What do you mean? The police said that Barnes is behind all of it. So the matter's settled. We've heard that he's under suspicion, yes. But we can't be certain it was Barnes who committed the crime. You sound just like my husband. But nothing you say will change the fact that Barnes is the culprit. Barnes' partner Ducklet was up to no good. Saw it with my own eyes. Did you witness the crime? Barnes' partner, Ducklet, was involved? You look as though you don't believe me.
Excuse me?
Is it true that you witnessed the crime? Well, I didn't exactly see it clearly. Huh. But I did witness some irrefutable proof. What exactly did you see? At the time of the incident, I was enjoying a cup of tea in my room on the second floor. Just then, I noticed a bird Pokemon flying outside the window. A bird Pokemon. Yes, I clearly saw a blue bird Pokemon. It had to have been Ducklet. We did find blue feathers near the window and in the storage room. So those were Ducklets. In hindsight, she was obviously stealing the jewel. I also heard a faint sound just before that, like something metallic. Metallic sound. Do you know what could have made that noise? No, I don't. But the storage room was ransacked, wasn't it? I suppose she must have broken something in the act. And I've heard it confirmed that Ducklet's feathers were found in the room. Isn't that proof enough that Barnes is the culprit? She's pretty darn convinced of her own theory. But all it's based on is a metallic sound and the sight of a flying blue bird Pokemon. Pretty flimsy, if you ask me. Yeah. I'm sorry, Miss Dennis, but that information alone isn't enough to definitely prove Barnes is the culprit. Then hurry up and find whoever it is. And get the jewel back. Isn't that what my husband hired you for? I get that she's upset, but she doesn't have to take it out on us.
Excuse me?
Mr. Dennis seems confident that Barnes is innocent. Yes, I'm sure he is. He's always been too trusting. Especially when it comes to Barnes. Those two really trust each other that much. I'm told Barnes has worked here for a very long time. Much longer, in fact, than I've known Sanjeev. I suppose that's why Barnes is always taking my husband's side. What do you mean by that? Whenever my husband and I have a disagreement, Barnes inevitably sides with Sanjeev. Even though I'm sure he believes he's being impartial, that lack of self-awareness is yet another one of his many flaws. I get the feeling Claudia is not a huge fan of Barnes. Do you think that's why she's so sure he's the thief?
Excuse me?
Could you tell me more about Ducklet? Ducklet is Barnes' partner. She dotes on him tirelessly and is always by his side. You mentioned earlier that she might be involved in the crime somehow. Would Ducklet be capable of such a thing? Yeah, she even helps Barnes out with his shopping. She'd certainly be capable of making off with the jewel. Whether or not Ducklet stole the jewel, the one thing that seems to be certain is that she really loves Barnes.
Yes?
The Aurora Drop is an incredibly valuable jewel. Mr. Dennis told me the same thing. But do you really understand? Can you even comprehend just how valuable it is? Huh? I knew it. Just look at those blank expressions. Hey, my face always looks like this. As it is, I'm not even sure my husband understands the true value of that jewel. After getting his hands on something so precious, why would he want to donate it to Rhyme City? So you're against donating the Aurora Drop? Of course I am. Treasures like that aren't meant to be paraded about for the general public. They should be preserved for quiet observation by a select few. Huh. Hard to imagine her quietly doing anything. Growlith. It's Dennis's partner, Growlith. She sure doesn't look happy. Apparently she feels responsible. No wonder she's so down. Maybe we should leave her be for a while. What makes the Aurora Drop a symbol of revival? 2 years ago, during the R incident, my jewel shop suffered considerable damage. Wait, you were a victim of the R incident? Yes. Some Pokemon who'd been exposed to R went berserk. Their rampage destroyed my shop. To say nothing of the damage done to my jewels and other goods. By that time, I already had the Aurora Drop. I kept it stored safely in the shop. So was the Aurora Drop damaged too? No, as a matter of fact, it wasn't. Of all the jewels in my shop, the Aurora Drop was the only one to remain unscathed. In fact, debris fell so perfectly around the Aurora Drop that you might believe it was being protected. It's incredible. I guess there's some magic left in the world after all. Ever since then, the Aurora Drop became known as the jewel that survived the R incident. People started visiting my shop just to see it. Thanks to all that attention, my business was able to get back on its feet. Sounds like a valuable jewel in more ways than one. What made you decide to bring it back to your mansion instead of keeping it at your shop? I decided to donate it to Rhyme City. The Aurora Drop? But why donate something so precious to you? It's not just precious to me, and that's exactly why I decided to donate it. Mayor Myers has done his part in improving our city by declaring that the start of Pokemon Friendship Week. I thought it was about time I did mine. So I wanted to donate the jewel that survived the R incident as a symbol of Rhyme City's revival. I hope that by doing so, I can help liven up not just my shop, but the whole city as well. Huh. Dennis, I'm impressed. That's a wonderful gesture. I'm glad you think so. Not everybody is so pleased about it. Oh? Forget I said anything. I shouldn't burden you with the concerns over such personal matters. For now, I'm counting on you to find the Aurora Drop as quickly as possible. I cannot say Aurora. That is a hard word for some reason. Understood. We'll do everything we can. Now then, Mr. Barnes, we'll thank you not to leave the mansion until further notice. Understood. Hey, it sounds like the police finished questioning Barnes. Let's go talk to him. Yeah. I don't know why I was not expecting that look. I don't know what look I was expecting, but not this. How did it come to this? Why are the people so suspicious of me? Excuse me, are you Mr. Barnes? Who may you be? I'm Detective Tim Goodman. Mr. Dennis has hired me to investigate the crime that occurred here. Is that so? My apologies. I'm Brendan Barnes. I work here at the Dennis residence as a butler. Do you mind if we ask you some questions, Mr. Barnes? I realize you must be tired since you were just questioned by the police. Please don't worry about that. If you've been hired by Mr. Dennis, then it is my duty to give you my full cooperation. Thank you. What would you like to speak about first?
Yes.
I was away when the incident occurred. It wasn't until after I'd finished my errand and entered the house that I realized something was amiss. I heard Turner cry out from the second floor. When I rushed upstairs, I found him collapsed on the floor in front of the jewel storage room. So that means Barnes was the first witness to arrive on the scene of the crime. Technically, Turner was, but whatever. Did you see the thief or their partner Pokemon? No, nothing like that. Wait, if Barnes ran up the stairs, you'd think he would have run straight into the thief. If he didn't see anyone, could they have escaped from the second floor? Did you check the storage room? Yeah, the door was already open, and when I looked inside, I saw that the Aurora drop was gone. I then contacted Mr. Dennis and the police right away. Is there anyone who could corroborate your whereabouts at the time? Fortunately not. It was only afterward that Mrs. Dennis came out of her room to see what the commotion was. And the only others in the house at the time were Growlithe and Clefable. Naturally, no one can take witness statements from Pokemon, so I'm afraid I have no alibi. That's where we come in. The Pokemon that live in the mansion might know something. Mr. Barnes, do you have any idea who the thief might be? Not a clue, I'm afraid. But I do know that Mr. Dennis and I are the only ones who can freely use the key to the jewel storage room. Growlithe guards that key with constant vigilance, so I imagine it would be very difficult for anyone else to take it from her. I suppose it's no great wonder that the police suspect me, given the circumstance. But I would never do something so senseless. And at least this confirms that that only those two have access to the key. For some reason, I was reading totally different words in that sentence. Out of all the jewels in Mr. Dennis's collection, he considers the Aurora drop to be his most precious. He worked tirelessly, there we go, to acquire it in the first place. You might even say the Aurora drop is the physical manifestation, the crystallization of Mr. Dennis's career as a jeweler. I cannot talk. Holy hell. That's a hard word. I wish nothing but swift retribution on the thief who stole it from him. So someone who speaks so formally, Barnes is a pretty passionate person, isn't he? Please, Tim, find the Aurora drop. I beg you. Don't worry, sir. We're on the case.
Yes.
Ducklet is my dear partner Pokemon. Just look at this photo. And it's Ducklet with you there. I love Ducklet. Yes, isn't she adorable? Just look at her feathers, simply beautiful. Well, that's not all. She's also incredibly clever, and even helps me out with my work. Excuse me. I'm terribly sorry. I tend to get a bit carried away when I speak about Ducklet. It's really no problem. You mentioned that she helps you with your work. What exactly does she do? Well, let's see. She runs errands for me, such as buying coffee beans from a local cafe. Oh, she buys coffee beans. Nice. There's a place nearby called the Hi-Hat Cafe. Perhaps you've heard of it? She regularly goes shopping there by herself. If that's her go-to cafe, then it's gotta be for the Hi-Hat blend. Guess I shouldn't be surprised that Rhyme City's elites have such refined tastes. I asked her to go to the cafe today, in fact, but she hasn't yet returned. Could she have wandered off somewhere? Do you have any idea where Ducklet might be? Fortunately, no. The feathers found at the scene of the crime are Ducklet's, right? Yes, no question about it. But I haven't the faintest idea why Ducklet's feathers would be there. Just the thought of her getting caught up in this crime somehow. I'm so worried I can hardly think straight.
Well,
based on Barnes' testimony, I'm really not surprised the police suspect them. Yeah, if only there was another witness at least. About that, are you forgetting something, Tim? Huh? Barnes told us that Growlithe and Clefable were in the mansion. At that time of the incident, remember? All right, maybe the Pokemon saw something. Exactly. You can leave the rest to me. Let's go question them, Tim.
Tim.
All right. Well, as...
Tim.
Oh my god.
Hey.
What, Pikachu?
I see.
Seems like the residents of this mansion drink coffee frequently. I can tell by the aroma.
Okay. As I was about to say, if you can tell, I'm getting tongue-tied more. So I'm going to take a break here, guys. And in the next one, we will get to interviewing the Pokemon. So thank you so much for watching. As always, please remember to like, comment if you're not already. Please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more next time. But until then, I'm out.